The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What's going on with everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels, the host of the 1130 podcast. Hey yo man, I want to send a special shout out to Off the Top Roads podcast. If you guys ain't already heard it already, man, go tune in to wherever you get your podcasts is at, man, and subscribe to Off the Top Roads podcast. Shout out to my man Shiz Lansky, man. He been a guest on my wrestling podcast twice, and he gonna be a guest on the main show. Man, so stay tuned to the 1130 podcast social medias, man, to tune in to that. And yo, go tune in, man, and cop some merch from Off the Top Ropes podcast. You dig?
Yeah. Off the ropes be the podcast of mass destruction. Guess who's here for OGs and wrestling? Ain't no competition, we report, people listen. Never no mercy, we bring the rain to the streets. If you don't know, you better find out. Off the ropes, get a proof of point number one in the league. Bet you don't wanna tussle with us. You know where to how to run, step in the ring, you're done, you're never stepping out again.
So you're back on the wolf pack.
Off the ropes representing in 617 area.
So you're back on the wolf pack.
No other podcast out here more serious.
So you're back on the wolf pack.
Wrestling entertainment is reported. Use that power!
So you're back on the wolf pack. You might wind up in a body bag.
Took your chances, now it's time to show you what's on. In the ring, off the ropes, let's believe that we're strong. Day in, day out, off the ropes for life. Shit, man, it's fast food on the mic. Town be the city where we make our own rules. Stomping though you can't fit our shoes. Off the ropes, a crowd pleaser, conquering like Caesar. Leaving us like pizza when you need your wrestling re-up.
So you're back on the wolf pack.
Off the ropes, representing in 617 area.
So you're back on the wolf pack.
No other podcast out here more serious.
So you're back on the wolf pack.
Wrestling entertainment is reported by the Bears.
So you're back on the wolf pack. You might wind up in a body bag.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, y'all have it, then y'all should go out, follow us on Instagram, Facebook groups, Twitter, all that good shit. Anchor Podcasts as well. Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Breaker, Podbean, Audius, Spotify, and Greenville. Once in a while, we'll be going to go live. But without further ado, sorry, I'm a little sluggish today, man. I will book my geek today, so I'm extremely fucking tired. But nonetheless, we got a show to do today. Ladies and gentlemen, the average one himself, UFO Wrestling's home, Jonathan Febres. What's going on with you, Playboy? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
Man, listen, I walked into the door not too long ago, had to take a quick shower. I went both my guests today, so I'm just trying to recoup, relax, and do what the hell I can, man. But nonetheless, this ain't me, but this, you'll say this ain't about me. This is about you today. So let's start. We'll start from the very beginning. What made you, get involved into wrestling? Like, what made you really say to yourself, like, this is what I want to do, even if it may take me this path over here or this path over here. This is what the hell I want to do. What made you decide that?
It's a bit of a long story. I started watching wrestling when I was actually 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first match I seen was, it's kind of like Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels and on Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah.
That's what got me into keep watching wrestling. That moment I actually wanted to do it was the triple threat ladder match between the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
When Jeff Hardy was on top of that ladder to hit that swanton, that's when I want to. That's the time to pinpoint that I want to do it. So, and then it took me a little bit just to find like schools and whatever. And when I moved back to Massachusetts like a few years ago, back in 2012,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I encountered someone who knew a wrestling school and whatnot, and I just went into it. I've been loving it ever since.
So now you're officially wrestling for UFO Wrestling. How is it in that environment over there with them guys, and especially Pat? Me and Pat, with some people that don't know, we grew up in the same neighborhood, but just in different generations. So we wasn't really around like that growing up wise, but we knew about the certain people in the neighborhood and all stuff like that. So that's why I was there that night last week, Friday, at the show. And congratulations for even getting in the ring and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Doing what you do best and doing what you love, because there's a lot of people out there that wants to do it, but they just don't know how to necessarily do it. What advice would you give to anyone that's trying to actually do what you guys are have been doing, just starting up doing, or even training to do?
The best advice I can give just right now, just if they really want to do it, like search within themselves first, because that's what I did. I searched within themselves, say, hey, do I really want to do it? And you still question, go to the school. Just research the school, like near you, because near me is the academy in North Andover, or the academy. Uh, just try it out first. If this is not for you, then this is understandable. And you really love it, and that's what you really want to do, just have that capacity in your mind to keep going. Yes, it's gonna be a long road. I know it's a long road, but you keep being persistent, you'll make it one day.
And, yeah, you hear that, folks? For one person that's currently doing it right now, and he's going to be succeeding doing what he does and doing what he loves. So, I guess the next question would have to be UFO wrestling in the first place. Like, how did you get your foot in the door when it came to that promotion, and what other promotions are you currently working, or are you trying to expand your bookings when it comes to different promotions, or are you trying to just work on your craft right now, and then when you feel like you're ready, you can go out there and you can showcase what you have?
Currently, right now, how can I say this? I'm working a few promotions right now, and well, to answer the first part on the UFO part, Pat been inviting me for the past. I just haven't been like getting myself to go there because of my shoot job or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I have scheduled, and I was able to go there, so that's how I end up in the how I end up in the ring. And to answer the other part of your question, I'm doing both, expand myself while trying to hit my own craft, trying to like figure out what I am as a wrestler. As of right now, what I see myself is brawler. I'm more of like throw strikes and whatnot. That's what I feel natural at. But I'm always open to different type of technique of wrestling, like
Mm-hmm.
high fly, technical, showman, whatever. I'm always open. And that's also my advice to people who wants to get into wrestling is figure out who you are first and handle this craft and always be open to learn something new because wrestling is always evolving.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, great. Yeah, great. Yeah, very great question when it came. Very great answer when it came to that. Yeah. So, like I said, like me and Pat, like we started kind of like coming together, and now really started like supporting one another and stuff like that. So that takes a little time for us to kind of branch out. So, with the people that's in UFO, how many people have you wrestled against thus far, or is it like or is this like your first few times coming up, and then you just working out and figuring out figure out what skill set to use here for this promotion and such like that? How you rolling along with this whole going to promotion, figuring out what you want to do?
as far as figuring out, I just keep going different promotions. See, I care about being open to work. Like I just keep myself open minded. Like regardless of the atmosphere or the amount of crowd, or what kind of roster they have,
Mm-hmm.
I I just willing to work like anything. So that's how I'm currently at. Like UFO, it's it's really good. I'll tell you the truth. And in the atmosphere from the crowd, I was surprised when I first got in the ring with UFO. It's it's not like anything else. I like when it comes to like small promotion and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I gotta say one of the few plays I feel I can keep working with until either go into the big leagues or whatever happens. Stuff like that.
Okay. So, can you take us back to can you take us back to who your favorite wrestlers were growing up? I mean, I know that you had already explained the Jeff Hardy high spot, so I know he got to be somewhere in that high top list of your favorite wrestlers. Well, who else could you put in your list of favorite wrestlers growing up? And has that taken effect to how your style in the ring is presented because of your idols, or is it just really just something that you feel like because of who I am and what I look like and shit like that, this is how I gotta present myself and this is how I gotta play it?
When I explained Jeff Hardy on the high flying part, because I've kind of thought myself as a daredevil, he's one of the top few favorite wrestlers. I'm not gonna name a couple more because there's so much to explain.
Right.
My favorite was The Rock because I gotta explain him. I've been watching him more than everybody else because the way he presented his character, like the most, like the kind of like the manliest of the men, something like
Okay.
so like as someone I want to try to present myself as a character. And what attracted me most to him is how he, like I said, is how he presented his character, and then he had the most charisma and the most personality coming out of it.
Oh yeah.
And other favorites is that was Triple H, and because how he feels natural just being himself. Because I watched him a little bit, he was kind of a little bit more being himself. And that's what I also portrayed as my character. I combine character and myself when I present the Wild Hound, because that's really a combination of mixing a couple of people and myself when I present in the ring.
Right.
And I think one more favorite, and he is just a great technical wrestling. Is the person that I met like not too long ago, like a month ago that was Kurt Angle.
Ooh.
Because of his technical wrestling. And he doesn't just do technical wrestling just to put on different holes and stuff. He makes it, and that's the part I picked his brain on. Is make these holes count. And that stuck with me ever since.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to ask you that next question too. Like, what did Kurt Angle give you some advice about when it comes to you? Like, what did he tell you how you should do certain things in the ring? But besides the one thing that you said already.
Yeah, the only advice that I can remember, he already figured out my style of wrestling, right? He said that style, right, as we all get older, not work as the same as we keep going. So his advice is to try to add some technical wrestling within your arsenal, while at the same time keep up with your own craft. So he suggests keep going to training, keep up with his craft and keep learning something new. And as I explained before, and I agree with every other wrestler that say this, wrestling is always evolving. So it's up to us to just try to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically the advice I remember Carnego gives.
Oh, wow. So as of right now, got any plans going to other promotions to try to venture out, or you want to try to stay pretty much low key for right now and, say get certain things situated first, and then as time goes on, you're going to start going back out again?
As of right now, I'm slowly but surely trying to work with other promotions. Like, not just UFO, I'm also trying to work. I'm a little bit at a time. Still working with XWA. I'm trying to slowly get into chaotic wrestling and whatever promotions out there. I'm gonna keep doing my best to have some sort of working relationship with other promotions, with promoters, rosters, and whatnot. So, and at the same time, try to get myself in better shape. And as some people, I'll reveal some things. I have a messed up knee. I have a messed up tendons on my knee, and I'm trying to slowly, maturely try to get this better also, so I can do more.
Now, how did that happen?
Funny story. That happened during training. I decided to try to do a little high flying, and I remember myself knowing how to flip.
Mm-hmm.
So I dislocated my kneecap trying to backflip on the top rope.
You know what they're going to say. Big people, big dogs like us are not supposed to be getting on that top road to doing any type of high fly maneuver like that, because all that weight, and the moment when you crash, something can pop, something can break, and then done and over with. Take a look at Sid Vicious when he tried to even do a botched little leg drop. Off the mid rope, and then he popped his shin. And his shit pissed out, and I was like, I was 9-10 years old when that shit happened. So I remember that. I remember that. So that's what made me say, if I ever get to a ring as a big guy, I'm only gonna do certain things off the top, but frontward, where I can land on my side, rather than me try to do some cruiserweight type shit, thinking like thinking I'm trying to do some extravagant shit like Brock Lesnar did in WrestleMania 19, shooting. Saying the shooting star press, but he nearly got concussed, banged his head. Thank God that he didn't break his neck or anything like that. Otherwise, it would be a whole different story right now.
I agree, but I wouldn't say completely take it out of your arsenal, because I'm saving my high flying stuff to huge, bigger events, like either WrestleMania type shows or SummerSlam type shows, bigger events. That's where I will save it. And normal type shows, brawling and powerhouse. That's what I stick with. Unless there's crowds of hundreds.
Yeah, then you gotta go into the archive and take one that you think you might be able to work with.
Yeah. And I also take that inspiration from, oh boy, this man named Keith Lee.
Oh, yeah.
When I actually saw him firsthand in person, this is my eyes. What I'm showing you right now. Every time you high fly, I'm like, huh? And I'm like, okay, so how am I gonna show this one?
Right. Certain people are naturally gifted, so you know what I mean. You can't knock. You can't knock someone that have a natural gift like that compared to someone that's trying to master it on their own. Going into practice week after week after week. I just think certain things that you can't teach to people like that. But yeah, Keith Lee doing high fly maneuvers like that, man, I'd be shocked as shit too. I'm like, God bless God bless your heart, boy, because if something would have went wrong, he'll never recover back from that. So thank God for that. But um, yeah, man, just your journey right now. It helps influence other people, and more importantly, you are a baby face in this matter, right? In the saying, when it comes to UFO wrestling, you are. I mean, are you a baby face in that promotion?
No, I'm currently working as a heel.
Oh, you're currently working.
And
Oh, so you're currently working
I'm
as a heel. See, now when I first seen you getting in the ring, my first thought was he gotta be the baby face in it, because he didn't give me that vibe, that energy to where my okay, okay, why am I booing this guy for this? This guy doesn't make me feel like I gotta boo him, but other people are booing him, it's probably for all different reasons. I'm not telling too sure. So, do you like working as a heel?
Before I answer that, that's what happened in some other promotions, right? I
Yeah.
try to be a heel, try to get the fans to hate me, but I guess most of them has what you have, right? They
Mhm.
had this aura of, this guy is more of a baby face.
Yeah.
That's why I feel more natural of as a baby face. That's why I got. That's why I made up this character, because I'm trying to be a first like indie wrestler that can work as like a tweener.
Right.
Because
Hmm.
that's why.
So
Because
basically, like a Lex Luger.
I don't think I don't think that the worst wrestling world should just be black and white, like heel baby face. Because, like I said, it's evolving. That there's gonna be some type of tweener in wrestling. So, so, and what was her question again? I forget what it was.
No, I was just no, I was asking, do you like working as a heel more than a baby face?
I like working both neutral, so I don't really have a favorite. I just like working in the ring, working
Right.
whatever role they give me. I just go with it, and I enjoy both of them.
Okay. So what was been if you can name one match that you had thus far that was like your best one, what would it be?
Mm.
As of today,
I
yes.
remember two handful of matches. Uh, the one I like the best. It was a few months ago in a Thursday night throwdown. One of my one of the best matches I like working with is a wrestler named John Steele. He's one of my favorite persons to work with because he's you can tell in the ring with him he's natural. He's
Mhm.
natural talent, and he's one of the few people I love working with. And I trained with him for a little bit before he started expanding everywhere else.
That's cool, man. I mean that's cool. Any I was gonna say any. Well, actually, matter of fact, before we go to the last one, what about the current wrestling scene right now? And as you probably already know about the whole, WWE changing up the NXT formula a little bit more, so it's going to cause some rift in between to AEW, basically buying up and signing all these ex WWE talent, but giving them a little bit of creative leeway. How you see this whole professional world turn it into within the next 5 years? With all the different companies now starting to slowly work together one by one, except for WWE, of course, who hasn't opened up their doors yet. But how you see the professional wrestling and independent, because this is going to have to incorporate y'all, you guys too. How is that going to come into play within the next 5 years?
I always hear some people. Let me get to the AEW part first. People always talk crap about the high ex WWE guys. Well, here's the thing. Yes, they have people that sign independent wrestlers. Well, here's the question: the people that talk all this junk about higher ex WWE wrestlers. Which one of these independent wrestlers has some experience on TV? Almost this much percent of them.
Mm,
So I say it's better to hire some ex WWE stars because they have the knowledge
mm-hmm.
of being with the network, being being with scripts and all that. So that's part I'll get first. An NXT rebrand. I always stick with the same. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because I saw nothing wrong with NXT.
And I totally said the same thing either. I don't see nothing wrong with NXT. It's just Vince McMahon treats it as a supposedly a developmental, where you know that third brand technically has some of the stars that's being called up to the main roster, so you're gonna need that. So to disqualify to disown your own brand, it really says a lot.
That's why I totally agree. And your first hand was had this in developmental, and don't you stick with developmental, because this is the whole point of developmental is trying to develop some WWE type craft.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point of that. And the reason of just by looking at it, some people could disagree with me if they like. The only reason to get a brand is this war they have going on between them and AEW.
Yeah, supposedly war, but then again, it's like they try to make it seem like, oh no, man, they're not competition over here. Well, real reality, you know what the fuck that you know the fuck that they actually are. You're just downplaying it to make it seem like it's not bothering you, but then you're doing all these alter changes within the company to make it like you're going towards them. So, I just wish that he would just just be straight up and just say, yeah, we see our competition over there. We see what they're doing. Now we're over here doing this. That's all that he has to fucking do. But no, he wants to be. He wants to play conservative a little bit, and that's something I'm just like, yeah, like you're gonna lose your audience that way, bro. Like I don't understand what's going on in your head compared to what's going on with millions of people. This is other head.
And this. And I gotta say, some people, right? People think that's the pinpoint of this. It's mostly the ego thing, and this pinpoint before AEW. This been going on since TNA.
Oh yeah,
was trying to do competition with them, and that's when TNA was getting a little bit more viewers. And top management mind in WWE, they're trying to be like, oh, we're number one. We're trying to stay number one. Well, here's the thing. Unless you know how to bust your ass to stay number one, trying to, like, the only way you stay number one is it's the viewers, the fans.
Mm-hmm.
You got to try to it's give them what they want. You get what you want, but you try to, like, twist some narrative. Like you said, they're going to lose a lot of fans. And I say this pinpoint the ego thing way before AEW, in my opinion.
Yeah, man.
Pinpoint back to TNA, when TNA was starting to get a little bit more popular.
So I'll say about the 2004, 2005 TNA?
Around there, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say the same thing, too. That was when Sting came in. This is when they just signed Kurt Angle. Christian Cage was there. And then you're seeing the new crop of talent, which was AJ Styles, that people were either sleeping on at the time or they was really following him all the way from the very beginning to when the hell did he left. And I said, if it wasn't for that, for AJ Styles there, too, that thing wouldn't really got that company would never got the big notoriety that they had if it wasn't for him. It wasn't for AJ Styles.
And now to answer your question about professional wrestling in the next 5 years, I'm not really a predicting person, but if I could be, if I can, like, be reality for a second.
Yeah, of course, man. This is an open platform here, baby.
I would say that if WWE continues the way they are to try to be more corporate-rise than pro wrestling, I say like they're gonna be as low as the indies. As a AEW, because AEW, they try to change certain things, right? Kind of like throw something on the wall,
Yeah.
see what sticks. And they saw what sticks, they stick with it. And then that's what's getting the fans. They continue with that. And I say they continue with that and find out what really sticks. I say they kind of will be competition to WWE.
Now, do you believe WWE will sell the company to a parent group, maybe like Disney or what's another parent group like Andover is the parent company for UFC, shit like that? Do you see Vince McMahon pulling the trigger and be like, you know what, I'm done with this. I can walk out with my money right now, and then that's basically just it. Or you think he's really going to sit there and really run the show to when he's dead?
I would say, if I could be a little bit better person, I would say no. Because
Know that he wouldn't sell?
I would say no, he would let his children run it. Either Stephanie or Shane. Because it's his family legacy. Because this started with his father, Vincent James McMahon. So why would he get rid of something that his father created, built, and exceeded?
True.
So I would say mostly who will run it, like make it better, and they can do co-owners, Shane and Triple H. Because if they run it and do like different brands, and they play their cards right, they can stay number one. And the AEW, where, like I said, in the AEW, they keep finding whatever sticks, and they stick with it. They can stand up.
I was gonna say AEW would be more of an alternative. I don't see it as competition with WWE. I see it as more as an alternative wrestling that you can watch, that you can say, I'm getting what the hell I asked for. If I want sports entertainment, if I want these storylines, you gotta go to WWE, of course, because that's what they're known for. But if you want that real in-ring professional wrestling, storytelling in the ring, and you're grasping by the skin of your teeth, that's somewhere that you want to go and watch, and that's AEW, of course. And then, of course, the whole Forbidden Door, you know what I'm saying, to Impact, New Japan, AAA, shit like that. There's many fancy matches, dream matches that everyone is Google Gaga for, and they just might get it within a matter of a year, or I mean, at least like a year or 2 years. I wouldn't want to say maybe within the next like 6 months. I say certain things got to be built up the right way. Otherwise, you look at something rust, and it's not going to feel the same. Yeah, but I totally agree with you. I think if Vince is smart, Vince will sell the company to Shane, Stephanie, and Triple H, his son-in-law, 3-way split, right? Triple H handles the wrestling aspect of it. Stephanie can run the corporate business management, shit like that, whatever like that, right? And Shane can worry about the micromanaging the day-to-day operations. The same way how his dad used to do it back then, the day-to-day operations, stuff like that, before he had other people doing it, then he would just basically sit behind the desk. I say, and they split them up that way equally, 33% each, and then it takes like a majority vote to overrule or change something, they can do that. Because Nick Khan, Jesus Christ, I'm not putting my faith in that man. Especially when he's already thinking about already selling the company off already. So if he got Vince's ear already, what the hell makes you think Vince is not going to be fueled by money?
I've been seeing that's what it is. This is more about trying to up the revenue. And that's, if some people were smart about it, it's not about the revenue. It's about, like people be saying, it's about the fans. The fans bring the money. And if Nick Khan and Vince McMahon get it through their heads, then they will see that, okay, maybe we can try to make our company better for the fans. We make it better for the fans. We can keep bringing more money. And I've been saying this for like a couple of years with NXT. Triple H would have did a little bit of planning, right? And if part of him would have knew that he would not get control of it anymore, and NXT was gonna look worse,
he would have walked out the door.
NXT and go.
Mm.
Just keep that bread and go. Go do your own thing, and because your father-in-law is gonna be all this
Blaming you because NXT failed when clearly he did the best that he could along with Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg, and a few others. He helping that whole creative, and they did. And you can't take away from that because they did some pretty great things for NXT. They ain't God for Shayna Baszler. They ain't God for Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, shit like that. Oh, those people that I can keep going that made NXT the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? So you can't discredit the stars that they have built here, but it's not their fault that you can't know what the hell to do with them once they get on television up there in the main roster. That's not their fault. That's his fault. You know what I'm saying? So as much people want to say this is Triple H's fault, this is not Triple H's fault. He had dealt with the hand that he'd been dealt with. He made it survivable this long until now. And then, of course, Vince McMahon is never going to put the blame on himself. He's going to put the blame on somebody else. And it's about Triple H is getting the most heat right now.
I wasn't trying to say like it's Triple H's fault. I was saying like you can tell with some tweets. Well, there was like a couple of tweets saying how NXT is getting bad, and I saw Triple H was liking some of them, right? And that tells me Triple H kind of knows some things when it comes to like Vince McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
His fault. So that's a whole different thing. I'm saying like if he had like a little bit of feeling, he should be like, I'm helping trying to make this brand better, so they go to the main roster, and now he's trying to like make some changes when it really doesn't need any. Maybe so finally trying to get it through Vince's head. I think anything can go. Because then that would teach Vince that maybe if I just like not try to fix everything that's not broken, then maybe things would have been better. And this is where it goes to the 2011 CM Punk promo.
Oh, yes. And you know what's funny? I said that the other day in my podcast, last week, I said that 2011 promo from CM Punk is coming to fruition even 10 years later. And if his words ain't gold by that time period and people still don't think, all that stuff was just a shoot. Like, I mean, it's not really for real. It really fucking is. So everything that he said was spot on the money. That I'm sitting back and I'm like, he's right. I mean, he's right. I think the company would be better off if Vince McMahon's dead, but it's going to get worse when he passes on to his children and his son-in-law, and it's just going to be worse. And I just thinking, what if that does happen? Then Vince is going to be like, oh shit, no, I got to sell the thing right here, right now. Just walk away, let someone else take care of the bills. I'm going into retirement. I'm done.
And that's what I was saying. This is about the ego thing because he want to keep the thing that he's a genius when it comes to running his thing. Well, when's the last time you've been a full genius? The last time you were a full genius, and when you found a way to. Last time, to me, when I pinpoint the last time he was a full genius, he ran WCW out. That was one of the last time. Other times, Ruthless Aggression was good. Ruthless Aggression was good. I'll say that.
I would agree with you on that too. I say Ruthless Aggression had been like the second favorable era, I think, in their company history, and that made introduce a lot of stars. So that was still good.
And I say when it started going PG, like a couple of years after going PG, that's where it kind of don't know what the fans want anymore. at some point.
But I think it's really because of the sponsorship money, the TV televised money, and certain things in cable had changed over those years from 1997 to 2006. How the whole dialogue and shit like that had changed, and certain things that you can get away with back then, you can't get away with it now. So thinking. In his mind, he's probably thinking, half the damn schemes I probably would have done, I can't do anymore. Or I got to answer to this company, or answer to this sponsorship, or answer to this network, and be like, hey, how come that limousine blown up the week before, and somehow they're trying to claim that like you're dead, and shit like that can get sideswiped at any minute and rewritten, and all of a sudden he can come out the very next week. Just like that. Pretend that didn't happen last week.
That's another thing why he's losing people.
Dementia.
Like, you never play with somebody intelligent. People's gonna find out soon.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you try your best and try to not only like tell a story, but not only just make up as you go, but stay in reality-wise. And that's kind of where I see AEW's doing. They're trying to stick with reality-wise when it comes to a little bit of storytelling. It's gonna take a little bit. It's gonna start with like getting writers that used to be like storytellers. That's the only way WWE program is going to get better.
They need to get rid of they need to get rid of 50% of the damn writers. It shouldn't take 50 writers to write a 3-hour show, and it's garbage. That's bad already, and you have 50 people on your then you have 50 people on your writing staff that can't produce a show. You already have a problem right there.
It's not just having that many writers. More of them don't know wrestling.
Exactly.
So TV writers, when you have wrestlers that know how to write, hire them. They know how to tell a story, not people that write for movies or TV that don't even watch at least a percentage of pro wrestling. Like, for example, that woman that they had to fire because she don't know who their current WWE champion is.
Yeah. And she get the mega backlash of the century about how the hell are you supposed to not know? And then I'm like, okay, let me break this down for the viewers and shit. She was only at that job for 2 weeks, legit 2 weeks before they let her go. Okay, so once that podcast that she went on came out, oh man, all hell broke loose. And that's what I said to myself. So you just bringing in anybody to come in to be a writer? I'm like, shit. Hire my black ass. I would love to transfer you shit the fuck around. Me being as a wrestling fan, myself, I watch the content every goddamn week for nearly my whole entire damn life. Well, besides college. College, I was in a whole other environment by that time period. But me, I know how a wrestler should be able to think, to react, to feel, and all the other type of shit. Because why? I am a diehard fan. You have diehard fans in this whole fucking writing team. This whole shit this whole shit needs to be blown the fuck up, and needs to be the chairman, the wrestler, and the referee. How the fuck are we actually going to do this? And do it that way.
I'm 100% with you on that. Like,
man, oh man. And I got one more question. For you. And this is towards the Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch fiasco. I don't know if you even watched SummerSlam, but if you didn't, I'm pretty sure that you probably don't even want to. But if you did, oh my God, I know deep inside you guys say they're pulling the Kofi Kingston on me on Bianca Belair. And I'm not going to want to say the R word, but you get where I'm going at this. How do you really feel about the as I call it, the squash?
Yeah, you see me face palming, and I'm still in right now.
Oh man, listen,
so
bad fucking move.
First of all, why? Because I know you want the strong reaction. That's not the way to go. That was not.
No.
I understand you want her to return and have the title, but at least fight a full match. And that's my other thing with Kofi Kingston, Brock Lesnar. Like, fight a full match. Because squash somebody that you build so freaking strong in their reign, and then you squash them?
Within not even a minute, not even 30 seconds. And then you're like, what the fuck did I just watch? Ew.
Yeah, that's why the trending was terrible. Like the word terrible was trending after that match.
Terrible. It really was. It really was.
Or it would make a lot of sense if they just let Bianca have a match with anybody, right? And then Becky Lynch returns after that match, right? And then you want her to turn heel, be like, have her pose the crowd or whatnot, right? And then shake her hands with Bianca Belair, right? Once they get all fresh up and shit, they beat the crap out of her. There you go. There's your heel turn right there.
And that's easy. And that's easy booking right there that even a wrestler can fucking do. But they can't even do that shit right.
Now you kept Bianca strong. Becky's still got this hype up return, and now you got an opponent for later on. But booking somebody super strong, like book them right here. This is where the bury part comes in, and then you squash them. I'm sorry. Now people feel this is where your title reign is. It don't.
Your title reign is only gonna be on the short leash, 4 or 5 months tops. But when our prime person comes back, they're automatically getting the title back. The fuck? No.
Because that's the same thing with other sports, right? Let's say a sports player, like NFL player, gets injured, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just like they get better and then shoot them all the way to the Super Bowl, right? No, they have to work for it. They have to like, hey, even though you got injured, you got better, but we're going to the Super Bowl. We can't just shoot you in.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen that happen. They made them go training, do preseason to see how they can still play in the high caliber level.
Yep.
Tom Brady, for example. I know there was like a couple of times he got injured. He got injured. He couldn't play for a little bit, right? So they started him slow to see he can still perform at this level.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed he did. That should be in pro wrestling. Have them come back, win some matches, see if they can still compete in this high caliber match. And if they show they can, then put them in the title picture. But make it make sense. Because you doing something like that, like they did with Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, Kofi Kingston, Brock, and there was like other matches I was like that.
Yeah.
That's still a face palm to this day. It's never
the finger poke of doom.
Oh,
that's what people really got screwed out of them playing for as a TV main event. Yikes!
Even I still face palm that one today. Even though people are going like, "Oh, this is something they're going to talk about," I was like, "Yeah, get them to talk about you the good way, not shit on you that way."
Mm-hmm.
Common sense, people. Like, it hurts my brain.
Listen, I know that. There've been some blunders. There've been some blunders in wrestling history. The Shockmaster's arrival. The Shockmaster's arrival. Vince Russo winning the world. Vince Russo winning the WCW World Heavyweight title. That's another one too. I think people was like, "Who the fuck booked this shit?" And I'm like, "Yep." And then of course, And then, of course, I think Santina Marella dressing up as a woman and getting involved in the Women's Royal Rumble match. And somehow winning it. And somehow winning the damn joint. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. I'm like, no, my God. Just, yeah, no, wrestling shit has its full blunders and shit. Let's just say Vince McMahon is coming close to another one. And I just have a funny feeling. It's gonna be someone high up, like a Drew McIntyre or something like that. Doesn't mean that's gonna be the next casualty. Don't want to jinx it, but I just had that funny feeling. I'm like, yo, listen, the baby faces are getting screwed over right now. What the hell makes you think that they're going to survive?
That's exactly what you said. Like, it's like, no, some of those names that you were mentioning, right? Because I always do read newsletters when it comes to wrestling and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just coming up with too much tests. Going like, oh, let's see. Like, for example, the Carrier Cross thing when he lost against Jeff Hardy.
Oh, no. Please. Let's not go to Karrion Kross, because I'm still kind of pissed off about that, and the fact that they kept this man coming out with a helmet on top of his head, looking like the old school Sultan, the old school gimmick Rikishi used to have back in those days. Wait, when I seen that, I was like, wait, they doing the Sultan with him? Ew. And then they want to try to make it, and then they said, and I quote, we're trying to make all our superstars marketable. Keyword marketable. And I said to myself, you're going to put a very dangerous and talented motherfucker, put a helmet on, put on some Spartacus Gladiator spandex shit, and he's off to the races? Thinking that it's going to really flow to him again? This is the reason why there's a power struggle between Triple H and Vince and behind closed doors right now. Because this shit is the reason why I think Triple H is saying, yeah, I'm agreeing with it. This thing it's going to turn bad before it gets even better.
Yeah, and then this is where we go back to this insulting intelligence thing, right?
Yeah.
You have somebody that build in NXT, you don't follow up in the main roster. Like, that's where the insulting intelligence and where we say, screw the main roster. Because
listen,
and the attire, I gotta say, it looks more like a BDSM bullshit because it don't look like it. So when I saw them, I was like, "Who's the bottom?"
So listen. It's like he almost walked up with a skirt on, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what the hell are you trying to have that man do? And I'm already over it. I'm already like, wait, you couldn't do anything with Keith Lee, and Keith's been MIA for a minute now. Ricochet's getting squashed left and fucking right, of course. Shit, thank God that Aleister Black, aka Malachi Black, went over to AEW, and then now he's a star over there with their one match. That says a lot right there. How one company views that covering crop of talent coming out in today's age compared to what it was back then. The 80s and the 90s, where it's always going to be the buff, but yet you got to be able to work in the ring. And that's just sad. And that's just really just sad. And that would kind of brought a tear to my eyes just now.
And this is where, like, a lot more legends, right? Let's say legends like DDP, Arn Anderson, like, that Vince, like, worked with in the past. Why do you think they're going with AEW? Because they feel that Vince kind of not all there knowing what he used to know anymore. Because that's why they all just jump ship.
Mm-hmm. And I just think that they have creative input when it comes to their characters along with their stories. And Tony and Cody and Kenny actually sit and actually like work with them to try to make the story better and still get what they want. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're choosing to do it as a team collective, rather than just having one person saying, this is exactly what I want you to do. And that's it. Followed down to a T. type shit. And I'm just like, it's not gonna work. I'm like, it's not gonna keep working like that, Vince.
Look who said that? John Moxley. He's the one who said that. Like, he wanted him to do all this hokey stuff, and he's like, no, that's not my character. I'm a lunatic. I don't do hokey stuff. I do crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point of lunatic French, Dean Ambrose. I do crazy shit, not hokey. And then when he came back after the injury, he wanted to go full blown John Moxley in WWE.
Yep.
Guess who said Vince? And then you get his Shield brothers talking shit. Like, how can you talk shit when you got like a bunch of ideas? Some of them they already tried to get an AEW and it works. And now who's gonna start kicking himself in the ass? So was that worth it?
Yep, that old man over there in Stamford, Connecticut.
Not just the old man, the stars that kissing ass in the company. Well, I say full ass, but like trying to do too much to be liked by the higher up. Well, one high man, to be fully correct. It's like,
True.
Are you loyalty to the sport or are you loyalty to the freaking corporation? Me, to be real honest, I'm loyal to the sport. Because even I serve a contract of WWE, I'm loyal to the sport. You can cameo on you on. I really don't care. You can call me the Black CM Punk of the WWE. I really don't care.
Hey, listen, I would be just like you too. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm not signing goddamn nothing until you meet my demands, and my demands is going to be clearly right. It's going to be clear right there on paper. Right there on paper, a lawyer will be right next to me to verify everything, to make sure everything is authorized the right fuck away. Or even if you got to renegotiate something, we're going to be negotiating right here at this table. We're not leaving to where my contract is the way that I want it, and you can't try to use it against me to do things that you want me to do for yourself.
This is where the people still have a debate when it comes to like superstars have a third-party platform, like OnlyFans, Cameo, or Twitch.
This sounds like an Adam Cole question to me. Seems like to me, what do you think? You think he's out the door? Or do you think he's going to resign? And you know what he said a couple of days ago? He says, I'm not giving up my Twitch for nothing. So he stands by that pretty vaguely. And he has a following on Twitch. So he's not going to get that up unless WWE will have to work out some contract negotiation when it comes to that. But even so, him going to that main roster right now, yeah, I don't know. I always see him going to the United States and the Continental Championship routes, and then that's it. He'll never touch that World Heavyweight title or the Universal title as long as Bobby and Roman are still there. And they're still healthy.
That's what you're talking about? Adam Cole?
Yes.
They say they like him and his skills, but how many people that like Adam Cole, the little midget, they really push? The last vanilla midget they pushed was Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Bryan style. That's only because they made themselves out there in the indies that level. And they prove it's wrong. But Adam Cole, you may say you like him, but you're never going to push him to the world out.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking too.
Maybe one time, but that's going to be like more in transitional champion. To like capture the title and say, oh, yeah, I'm going to transfer to and lose it to this guy. That's all Adam Cole's going to be.
Mm-hmm. And I believe that too. Man. We had fun this whole conversation, man. We went all over the goddamn place, man. Only thing I can say is just keep working on your craft. Keep working on yourself so when you follow your own pace to where you want to go and how you want to get there. That's on you to decide, man. And I'm happy that you came on the show to chat up with me. I'm happy for a lot of things that happened. Shit. Nope, never mind. That was some news that was even meant for me anyway. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, man, thank you guys for tuning in to the show. Thank you for tuning in to the special After Dark segment. Nonetheless, Jay, this is your time where we call the winner circle, where we give you the platform to do your shout-outs, plugins, where to find merchandise, where to even support you, where you're going to be at next as far as promotions go. This is where I say you got the floor.
Yeah. First of all, fans, I go by the Wild Hound, Johnny Rivera. That's my gimmick name. You may catch me just look for me in a few various different promotions like UFO, Chaotic, XWA. Just find I'll be in almost all over New England. Just find me. You see my face. And so far I just have t-shirts. Just try to get one for $20 each. Now I'm going to try to get more size. And shout out to making a shout out to New England Pro Wrestling Academy just to keep on help training me and all that. And very sad to hear the Big Jim we heard this morning.
Yeah, God rest his soul, man. Even though I didn't know the guy, but John Teller, another friend of mine, who's also a wrestler, he wrestled for ECPW and Pro Wrestling Magic. He was kind of sad by that. And Pat said something about that earlier. I was like, damn. So he was gonna be hit hard because of that. So God, yes. Big Jim, God rest his soul. Yeah, man, it's tragic. But also, you said that you trained in New England Pro Wrestling, right? You said. Yeah. Do you know the guy Tommy Taylor over there?
No, it's underrun by Chase Del Monte.
Okay.
The Chase Del Monte.
Okay.
That's what he calls it.
All right, now I think I know someone that trains in there, but like he goes to other gyms to train, but I know he more likely told me about that place. So if you see Tyree Taylor in there, tell him that tell him that I said hi. And thank you for coming on here. Thank you, man, for coming on the show, man. I really much appreciate it, man. Of course, this will be over here, but when I'm done editing and do it the right way and put it on YouTube, it'll be up within a few days. So, folks, until when this next episode is unveiled to the world besides here, or shout out to people that actually came in here, but why y'all follow us, like I said earlier in the episode, via the Facebook group, Twitter, Instagram, Off the Top Roast Podcast. It's easy for you to type, it's easy for you to hit that like button, thumbs up, all that good shit. Follow us on YouTube as well. We're so closing in 100 subscribers. Yes, come on, baby, get us to that promised land. Nonetheless, you can keep it on podcast there. You can keep it on podcast on Anchor, Google, Real Public Breaker, Podbean, Spotify, Green Room, Audio, and I think I'm missing one, which I'm probably not. But then again, there's one other one I gotta update you. But anyway, nonetheless, folks, Blackheart, BJ here. Take care of yourself and each other, and of course, I don't know now. We beat y'all. You too. Have a good night, folks. You did great, man.
Talk till you're back on the wolf pack. 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 You might wind up in